Hey guys, it's Jessii V. Do you like my new Halloween background? I think it's so pretty and spooky. I just had to kind of switch it up. Anyways though, today's V time is definitely on the more serious side. I know I mostly do funny videos, but sometimes on occasions I would like to do some more serious ones because not everything in my life is funny, obviously. So hopefully that's alright with you guys. I gotta put my serious face on. Serious Jess. This video does have some mature subject matter, so if you're like really little, I don't know, I warned you. As you could tell by the title of this video, it is gonna be creepy and honestly a little sad. I just thought I would put that out there and yeah, let's get into it. So the scary Ouija board experience that I'm gonna tell you actually happened to my mom. And I'm actually gonna get her to talk for a little bit after I am done telling you the story just so you can kind of hear from her. I thought maybe that would be a little bit interesting for you guys. So for those of you who didn't know, a Ouija board is a flat board marked with letters and numbers, and it is used to communicate with spirits, or in other words, the dead. People also call it a spirit board or a talking board. It started being used in the 1890s, and since then, people either love it or they hate it and they're completely against it. I personally would caution people from using it because of the story that I'm gonna tell you, but of course you're always open to your own opinion. I will not judge you for that. With that being said, I will get into the story now. My mom had a best friend growing up named Mark. They met in grade 7 after my mom came to Canada. For those of you who didn't see my very first YouTube video ever, I talked about facts about my life, and I said that my mom was born in Barbados, and she lived there until grade 7 and then moved to Canada for the first time ever. And as you can imagine, moving to Canada after living somewhere else your entire life, it's very difficult. People can be cruel and unwelcoming, but this guy Mark was just a really sweet guy and they became best friends. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, and apparently was quite attractive. It was also really convenient because he lived right next door to her, so they just hung out all the time. It's like having your best friend near you 24/7. How awesome would that be? They were together all through high school, and then this one day during my mom's second year of college, she got a phone call from her mom. Her mom told her that Mark died suddenly and they think it was suicide. She was just devastated. When you're best friends of someone who committed suicide, you're gonna wonder if there was anything you could have done to help them. So she was just really confused and heartbroken. 3 months later, after she was done grieving, her roommate invited her to a Halloween party. Because the party was all of her roommate's friends, my mom had no idea who anybody was. She did not know anybody that was gonna be at this party, but she decided to still go because honestly she wanted to get out of the house and she was just gonna go because her roommate really wanted her to. The host of this party invited a medium, which if you didn't know, a medium is someone who in one way or another can communicate with the dead. So of course when my mom arrived at this party and saw this medium, she was a bit weirded out. It's not very often that a medium is invited to a Halloween party. This medium was telling people that she brought a Ouija board with her, and if they sat down with her at this table, they could communicate with spirits through the board. My mom kind of just laughed. She never believed in ghosts or mediums or spirits or anything supernatural like that. And because she wasn't afraid at all, she volunteered to go first. Because honestly, she just wanted to prove everybody wrong to show them that none of this stuff was real. So the medium lit some candles. She turned all the lights off in the house and told everybody to be quiet. My mom and the medium both put their hands on the planchette, which is the heart-shaped piece of wood that actually spells out the words. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, planchette, I think so. And then the medium told everybody to close their eyes while she summoned the spirits. She then looked at my mom and told her that there was a spirit in the room that really wanted to talk to her. She said it was a young guy. So then my mom asked what his name was, and the planchette moved to spell out Mark. My mom was absolutely stunned and asked what his last name was, and it spelled out the last name of her best friend Mark. She got really upset at this point and just took her hands right off the board. No one she was with at that party knew her, so there was no way they could have been playing a joke on her. And who jokes about someone who just committed suicide? Like, people don't usually do that. She had only met these people for the first time that night, so she started to believe that maybe Mark was actually trying to communicate with her. And because this became so real to her, she was too scared to go any further with the Ouija board. So the medium called up someone else in the room to take her place. She said that as long as my mom was still in the room in front of the Ouija board, her hands didn't have to be on it, but as long as she was still there, they could still communicate with Mark. So my mom decided to ask questions that only her and Mark would know the answers to. She asked him when was the last time he ever saw her, because a couple weeks before she had found out about his death, she had been walking down the road to the grocery store. It was kind of in the evening, and he had come running up behind her and kind of jumped on her to scare her, because that's the kind of guy that Mark was. He loved to joke around, he loved to make people laugh, so only him and her would know about that moment together. And that last meeting together had happened in the summertime. So my mom's heart stopped when the Ouija board spelled out first the word summer, then the word evening, and then the word road. So my mom then asked what he was wearing that night when they saw each other, and the board spelled out jeans, and then black, and then jacket, which was exactly what he was wearing. My mom knew for sure at this point that it was him that she was talking to. She started to cry and then asked Mark, why did you kill yourself? And then the board spelled out accident, and then it spelled out I didn't mean to, and right after that it spelled out 3 heartbreaking words, mom is sad. So my mom said to him, listen Mark, like I've spoken to your mom, she's really confused and she's really sad and she really misses you. And then the board spelled out tell her I love her, which I mean I feel bad like just thinking about this story my mom told me. And then the board absolutely started going crazy, like the words were going so fast, and Mark kept spelling out mom is sad over and over again until literally the candles in the room just blew out. My mom jumped and she was just shaking and crying, so they had to just stop the session. They said goodbye on the board and that was it. The medium told my mom that Mark was probably having a really hard time moving on because everybody in his life thought he committed suicide when really it was an accident. I'm gonna show you guys a brief clip of my mom talking about this experience just so you guys can kind of hear from her what she thought. So here you go.
So Jess has asked me to talk a little bit about my experience with the Ouija board, and I would have to say that I really went into it not believing in spirits or the Ouija board or mediums or anything like that, and boy oh boy was I ever surprised. I really felt the presence of something very evil, and it was not a good feeling. It was quite scary. I would have to say I have told my kids just stay away from things like that. Mark was my best friend, so I have great memories of our past being together and having great times. This whole experience has tainted that. My last memory of him now is something that is not positive, so I've damaged that. I have regrets about that, and I will have for the rest of my life. I would just say avoid things that you're not sure of, that you're not feeling comfortable with. Don't even go in that direction. It's just not worth it.
So guys, I know this was a very sad and scary story, but it's completely true, and it's made me never ever want to touch a Ouija board, and I never have. My mom has been telling me all my life to stay away from them after what happened to her, and obviously I can't tell you guys what to do, it's your life, but I would strongly caution you to avoid using them because I really do believe that you can communicate with spirits with the board, and not all spirits are good. There are many that are evil and that you really don't want interacting with you and that you don't want entering your house. You cannot control what spirits are communicating with you on the board. They choose. You literally have no control over that. So just keep that in mind. I was kind of hoping that this veetime could show you what could happen if you use a Ouija board. You can all make your own decisions. I won't judge you if you use them. I just worry about you guys, you know, I really do worry about you. So if you stay clear of them, you know for sure that nothing can happen to you, right? Because you're not using them, so there's no risk at all. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this veetime and found it interesting and found it helpful if you were thinking of using a Ouija board, or just if you were curious about Ouija boards, maybe this kind of showed you what they're like. The name of my mom's best friend that I used in the video, it's not his real name. His real name does start with an M, but I thought it would just be kind of disrespectful to use his real name, and my mom has moved on from this experience. She thinks about it from time to time, and it actually was her idea for me to make this story for you guys because she also wanted you guys to know about it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and as usual, my social media information is in the description along with my vlog channel and my PO box information. So yeah, until next time guys, bye!